But we should probably start with politics, because you know, and maybe others in the newsroom as well, I have this gigantic magnetic map behind my desk here at the office. I've been looking up at that map a lot lately and looking at the state of Ohio, which is really, really interesting for various reasons. But I wanted to ask you about the Senate race in Ohio, which seems like one of the more intriguing ones this cycle and one that could potentially decide control of the Senate. What are you seeing in Ohio right now? Why is it interesting? And what are you looking at as you watch that state?
Sure. If you want to pull back and think about it from the broad perspective of things, Democrats have 51 seats in the Senate right now in their caucus, 48 official Democrats and 3 independents. Republicans have 49. Joe Manchin is retiring in West Virginia, and that's a state that Trump has won by an average of 40 percentage points the last 2 elections. So that is a seat that Republicans are basically already counting in their column. Democrats understand that there's almost no chance of winning that. So you kind of are looking at a 50-50 Senate as your starting gun. And Republicans look at their next best opportunity to get to the majority is probably Ohio. And that's where Sherrod Brown has won 3 terms so far. And it is a state that used to be, my gosh, it used to be the swing state of all swing states. In 2004, John Kerry lost the presidential race. In large part, he used to sort of joke darkly that if it was basically the size of an Ohio State football game, the crowd of that, if it had tilted in a different direction, he would have been president. Well, in the Trump years, he has really turned it pretty red. It is now a state that he's won by 8% the last 2 elections. But deep down, the reality is there are sort of mainstream Republicans like Mike DeWine and Rob Portman who still appeal to those sort of Trump MAGA voters, and they win by even bigger margins. They usually win by double digits. And now, what you have for the general election, what's happened is Democrats and Trump, oddly, wanted the same candidate. Bernie Moreno, a car dealer without a lot of political background, some controversial statements, some controversial work ethic involved, work issues when in his business operations. So he is he is the candidate that Trump wanted, that the Club for Growth, the far right activist group wanted, and he's the candidate the Democrats wanted as well because they think he is going to be the one candidate who Sherrod Brown can beat in a presidential election cycle in which they expect Trump to win Ohio, probably by 10 or more points.